week 2 takeaways, I will let you, or you want me to go first, or you want to
Yeah,
go?
no, I could start this one, and I kind of went on a rant yesterday on House of Horns after the Rams got beat down because a lot of people were picking the Rams, even though like no Puka Nakua, a bunch of offensive linemen are down. Nobody cares for the Cardinals' effort in Buffalo, and I'm like, okay, they're the home team, and whatever. That's one of the ones that I got right, but I can't even count it because it wasn't an upset because the Cardinals were favorites in Vegas. But everybody who in the national media spotlight, myself included, was that they're all picking the Rams. But here's where I got it wrong, and a lot of people got it wrong. Like, I think consensus picks all around, anywhere you looked, NFL.com, ESPN, Yahoo, everybody had the Ravens, everybody had the Colts, everybody had the Lions, everybody had the Cowboys. The Bengals almost did it with the Chiefs, but they blew it. We could talk about the DPI later. But all these upsets, like I want to say 6 or 7, occurred in the NFL, and everybody was not bold. Everybody was just lazy and making all the easy. 49ers lost to the Vikings. Everybody picked the 49ers. There was just so many picks there. Okay, Fernando, it's okay. You get a couple. The point is, there was always like one or maybe 2 people. Yeah, that team. But for like you ask 80 people, they all make the same damn pick. So I was just annoyed when I was, I think I was on the plane to Las Vegas and I was watching NFL Network. I'm not gonna name names, but there's a show where you make all the picks, and it was 3 people. They're all making the same damn pick, 3, same. I'm like, have some kind of courage and go with the upset. So I think everybody's stuck on 2023. Everybody's stuck on week 1 overreaction. So I think it's still too early to kind of know who's going to be like a contender and a pretender. But come on, people. I just ask everybody, have some kind of boldness, like picking the Raiders over the Chargers. How stupid, but be bold like me and pick the upsets every now and then. And I'm just so mad because my one upset, and I was the only one to pick it at SI.com, was the Tennessee Titans that beat the New York Jets. And those freaking Brian Callahan, chew out Will Levis more often, please. What are you doing fumbling in the red zone?
Mike Williams with a good catch down the field
Yeah, I
over
saw that.
the cornerback.
That's when I knew that my upset was not going to happen. But I just ask people, have a little more cojones when you're making your
I
picks
love
every
that
week.
Brees Hall got drug tested after yesterday's game, by the way. I wonder if Alvin Kamara got drug tested also for after what he did. All right. Mine is the 0-2 Ravens and the 0-2 Steelers, or Rams are in trouble.
2-0 Steelers.
Yeah, 2-0 Steelers. The Ravens, what exactly are you trying to do? Like, I don't understand what kind of style. Like, the thing that I've seen the first 2 weeks is they've gone away from Derrick Henry, and they're like, oh, go make us a play, Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm going to be fair. Lamar's not that kind of player. He's not that Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, like
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, guys that like, hey, we need you to go out there and make a play and win us the football game. That's not what Lamar does. That's not Lamar's game, and that's fine. Every quarterback's different. But to try and put everything on him, I think is a disservice to him. And I just have really questioned the way they've done and everything. A lot of players left, and I think I heard this morning Rich Eisen said that there was a tug of war between the Chargers and the Ravens on keeping J.K. Dobbins. That both of them kind of had a tug of war that J.K. I guess preyed on it, and everything told him go with Jim. It's something new. Start something new. Go over there. So, but they lost a lot of players. They lost coaching. Patrick Queen is no longer there. He's now on the Steelers. They lost a lot.
3 offensive linemen from last year.
Yeah, exactly. 3 offensive linemen are gone. So there's a lot of turnover, but a lot of people thought that the Ravens were going to be really good this year. And I was like, I would hold my horses on that one.
Speaking of boldness, who picked them not to make the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. So I just think that they're deeply in trouble. He's a crown. Robert, I understand that, but that's what I've always said. Is that he's saying then why is he a 2-time MVP? He's a quarterback, win games with your arm, not your legs. But he depends more on his legs. When he's won MVPs, a lot of those touchdowns and yards, they mix in the running and all that. And then they look at the team. The team has a great record. Last year they were 13-4.
Yeah.
They were really good. But at the same time, he had more weapons. This year he doesn't have, like, what does he have? Zay Flowers? That's it.
That's
Rashawn
it.
Bateman,
I think
like
I did the math. Bateman, Likely, and Andrews combined for like 117
Mark
yards.
Andrews doesn't look hasn't been the same. Likely, like first
Yeah,
game
but
looked
he was
really
shut
good,
down. He got like
but
25 yards.
yeah. So they just he's a 2-time MVP, but he's just not that guy. I mean, look at it. Go back and look and see if he's able to put teams on his back like that. He's not. They've always depended on the run game. They've always depended on the defense, and
Offensive
now
line.
those two are not as good as they were last year. So so I don't know. Let's be clear. Both of his MVPs was with QBs hurt or having No, I kind of do agree with that. So I'm not a big Lamar guy, obviously, but I just think that they're really in trouble. The Rams, their injuries keep on mounting. Josh Johnson, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua, the offensive line. I think somebody I thought that it was kind of an asshole move. Good news for the Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo comes off a suspension, and so does a
What?
left tackle. I'm like,
Uh,
what? I'm
Okay.
like,
Well, the left
good
tackle, yeah, but
news.
Jimmy,
Oh yeah, that's good news. But like everything else, like everything around them is just going to hell. It kind of feels like the year that you
it's 2022.
yeah, when you got to cut
Yeah.
what the season that you got to cover
I
them and they
wasn't
were
around, I'm not
huh?
around, so I'm not the one to blame
No,
anymore.
no, I'm not my bad. I wasn't
I
going
know,
that angle.
but I'm just saying I'm gonna
Yeah,
use
yeah, yeah.
that
No, no,
to
no.
tell your
No,
brother. Yeah,
I get it. But I just felt like it was that season where everything was going wrong, injuries,
this might be
everything.
worse, to be honest.
My question now is, should they sit Matthew Stafford? Do you really want him to like take a beating out
Well,
there?
the thing
And
is, they're not committed to the guy past this year, so like it's like, what are you waiting for? I don't know, but
yeah,
I
Robert, I do have a lot of frustration. Sometimes Hurts is frustrating to watch. Tonight's going to be interesting. No AJ Brown, so I'm interested to see what.
yeah,
I mean, the addition of Saquon is huge,
or with
but
Devontae Smith though, you got paid like number one
yeah,
money. Can you do something?
yeah, exactly. So tonight's going to be really interesting with that. But going back to should they trade Stafford? I think they're gonna. I
Good
don't think they're.
question.
I don't think you trade quarterbacks during the season.
But
So I
if you
think
know
after
you're not committed to the guy past this year, and you know that
who
you're
would
gonna
want
have
them?
a terrible year, the Raiders, they need a quarterback. Maybe they're
Nah,
kind
they're
of
not going to take
hanging
them.
around. And Tom Telesco will love a Stafford, but I don't know he will do the trade for
What about
in
the
terms of
money?
giving up the capital. I don't think he would do that. Who's another bad quarterback team that Sam Darnold and the Vikings? Man, just
I'm
kidding.
with Juan. Tanking. I mean, I hate using the word, but if you could get
They,
a top quarterback and
they will
next year,
tank. The Les
huh?
Snead does not care about the normal things.
Yeah,
Like he will
I
definitely will
know.
tank.
Oh yeah. So, can you imagine Shador Sanders and Sean McVay? That would just be McVay. Hey, McVay would do this shit. Like he would go out there with them, and he'd be celebrating with
They
them.
were
But
talking it up last week against Colorado State.
exactly. So no, but
Pac-12 team, by the way.
just independently, I do think that the Rams they have an up and coming defense, and they have an up and coming offensive line, and up and coming great receiver in Puka Nakua. It might be time to hit the reset button with the Rams.
Should play 49ers this week.
Yeah, well, Debo Samuel's now out for a couple
Yeah,
of weeks,
and no
so
CMC, so maybe.
yeah, so that'll be interesting. Trade him back to the Lions. By the way, now everybody all of a sudden, oh, Jared Goff might not be who we thought. I mean, yeah, all of a sudden. But
Super Bowl pick Lions for you.
I know, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. I usually am like dead wrong with my Super Bowl pick, so I don't care. Last year I picked the Jets to go, and Aaron Rodgers killed that thing in the first 4 plays. But I do think that the Rams kind of need to come to reality and say, you know what, maybe it is time to start. Maybe it is time to start thinking about the future. You have an up and coming defense. You have Puka Nakua. You have some good pieces. Maybe it's in the offseason. I still think that him and like McVay and the Rams and Stafford are headed for a divorce. But it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Maybe they
But
say
yeah,
bye bye to Cooper Kupp, and this team might look very different in a
they
year.
could. Yeah, they could let go of Cooper Kupp. What it's been ever like the 1 year he didn't get injured was the Super Bowl year, I think.
Pretty
And
much,
I
he's
mean,
been hurt every
yeah,
single year since then.
maybe he'll be a Charger next year. Cheap money, under $5 million. He come. That's the only way those guys sign anybody. Well, the way they did it this year, but
Yeah, you need a new home and you're cheap. Come over here.
yeah, exactly. They're willing to do it. All right, Gilbert. Let's go to with some of the top storylines from week 2. Saints and Vikings with impressive wins over the Cowboys and 49ers. Which is the bigger surprise, the Vikings or the Saints?
Go Vikings.
Go on the
Uh,
Saints.
you know what?
Go
I, I
marching in.
I've been doing enough to give the Saints a little credit. They beat the Cowboys in Dallas, but I'll go with the nod here with my team here, the Minnesota Vikings, because yeah, I needed to see a little more. And that defense, I know, Victor, I'm gonna give credit to Brian Flores. Now you get my flowers, Brian Flores, Flores for Flores. There you go. And yeah, they don't have much in the interior defensive line, but damn, they have some very good edge rushers. That Van Ginkel guy does a lot of plays. Jonathan Grenard so far doing well.
I can't
Uh,
believe the Dolphins let him go.
yeah, he just makes plays. Like, yeah, he's not gonna be your
Yeah.
number one or maybe not even your number two edge rusher, but he knows how to make good plays. He had that pick six, almost another one in week 2. So that defense looks like it's legit. Obviously, like I still got to see a little more from Sam Darnold before I fully commit to the Baker Mayfield turnaround for him. But hey, when you could lob it up to Justin Jefferson, that
He
makes
did a
life
year with
easier.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, maybe that's a school for him that he went through it and is doing well. But yeah, we'll see if JJ is healthy and he comes back next week. But it's still a difficult schedule overall. But to be 2-0, they feel like they're gonna be like a fringe wild card team. I keep moving it up from crappy number one pick in the draft to hey, a little feisty 6-7 wins to maybe 8 or 9. But it's still a difficult schedule. It's gonna even out eventually. I'm not trying to like make myself look better, but they are impressive. They get more credit from me. And yeah, Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell is the one I'm going to give the flowers the most to. Uh, for some reason, he doesn't get talked about a lot, but I think right now it's way too early. But if we're making like a ranking for coach of the year, he might be at the top. The way he has the offense and the defense clicking, he's overseeing everything. They had a very difficult training camp for many reasons. So to be able to do that, they're playing well.
I have to go with the Saints, especially with the alert that I just got. Micah Parsons says effort wasn't there.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it always the same with the Cowboys? Whenever they lose, oh,
It's
it's
on
because of our
us.
effort. Yeah, we didn't do it. No, get out of here. Like the Saints wrecked you guys. So it was so funny. Do you listen to Dan Patrick or not really?
Not really, but I see the social media clips.
There's a guy called Shane Irving who calls in, and he's an angry Cowboys fan. And he comes in today. He's like, Mike Zimmer is hasn't been a defensive coordinator since the first Obama administration. And Jerry thinks, let me get him out of retirement and bring him in here. And he's like, and he brings in the head coach that's a product of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and decides, hey, let me bring him in here. But it's so bad the way the Cowboys played, but the Saints are just flying around. And you remember when we were I went to only one of their training camp practices, but those guys were flying around. Tyrann
Mhm.
Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore, like that defense, Cam Jordan, they were flying around. You're like, wow, okay, the defense might be good. I didn't think the offense would be this good, but Alvin Kamara scoring like what they score 6 touchdowns in a row on
Yeah,
the
the first
Cowboys
6 drives,
yesterday.
6 touchdowns.
That is
Kamara had 4 touchdowns. I think he had like
50
115
fantasy points.
yeah, 115
Yeah.
rushing yards and like 70 receiving yards. He still has it.
There he is. Robert knows exactly. So at the end, Dan will he'll be like, have a nice week, Shay. And then he's like, whatever, Danny. I love that. Is the Saints that good or catching teams by surprise? Ryan, I don't know. I think the Saints are they have a good team. They have a good nucleus, good receivers. They have the ultimate weapon in Taysom Hill. That guy lines up everywhere. They have Alvin Kamara who looks better this year than he did last year.
What
I
about your
think
boy Rashid Shaheed?
Rashid Shaheed,
2
we
touchdowns
talked
over
about
50
a lot
yards
that
back to
day.
back weeks.
San Diego guy, really nice guy. The difference is they have Gary Kubiak's son now at offensive coordinator. They made the change in
Clint
offensive coordinator. Gary Kubiak's son, I can't remember his name.
Clint
Coach
Clint
Kubiak.
Kubiak.
Clint
Clint.
Kubiak. He's like the Shanahan, like he
Yeah,
comes from that tree,
he
doesn't he?
went through that
Yeah.
school, yeah.
So I think he's simplified a lot of what they're doing. It looks a lot different. I'll tell you one thing. I wish if they would have really hired John Gruden, this would have looked really interesting. But I really think that hiring Clint Kubiak was very smart by them. I think it helps their offense a lot more. I think it's improved their offense. I think they're doing some good things. Offensive line is much improved as well. Again, the Trevor Penning, I'm still a little hesitant about, but I think their team is much improved, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna
The left
say
tackle's a stud, Fuaga, by the way. That does
yeah.
help.
Well, oh, you interviewed him during training camp, so yeah, no, he's really yeah. They played the Panthers week 1, but they really blew him out. I mean, that's a very high powered offense. Again, I'm just saying right now, as of right now, the Saints are very impressive at 2-0. Obviously, things can change. It's a week to week league, but I'm still interested to see